So this right here is the Aer City Pack Pro 2. And as the name suggests, this is a version 2, an update to the very popular City Pack Pro. Now this bag has been out for several months. I've had it for a little while myself. I've been able to use it for international travel. I've carried it every day for work. And I've also just used it as a general day bag when I'm out running errands or filming content and B-roll for other items that I'm reviewing. Now I truly do believe that this bag is a true Goldilocks bag. And what I mean by Goldilocks bag is a bag that's big enough to use for travel, but also still small enough to use for everyday carry. It's right in that sweet spot that a lot of people are looking for in a bag. Now, we're already in August and the year's coming down, it's winding down. I've been able to reflect back on all the pieces of gear that I've not only reviewed, but also just used, outside of the review space. And I can honestly say that the Aer City Pack Pro 2 is number one. It is the forerunner of my favorite releases of 2025. Now I know we still have several months to go, but I really having a hard time seeing something else dethrone this as my favorite release of 2025. Now in this video, I'm gonna show you all the nooks and crannies, go over all the features of this bag. Of course, I'm gonna pack it out for you, and I'm gonna tell you what it's been like living with this bag for several weeks now. With all that being said, let's get into it. What's up, friends? It's your boy John, and this is Unpack'd. If you're new here, welcome. I am glad to have you. On this channel, we like to talk about different backpacks, slings, everyday carry items, and all sorts of different travel related gear. Now, if you like to vibe with videos like that, or you find any value in today's video, please consider hitting like and subscribe, as that directly supports me and the channel. Thank you. So just in case you've been living under a rock, Aer is a California-based carry company that's designing and building some of the most kick-ass everyday carry and travel gear on the market. Now, whether you need a travel backpack, everyday carry backpack, a sling, a tote, Aer has your carry needs covered. They've even started to dip their toes in the world of hard-sided luggage. They came out with this pretty cool roller, carry-on roller. Hopefully one day I can get my hands on it and review it for here in the channel. So a quick little Unpack'd fun fact for you is that Aer is actually the very first premium bag brand that I decided to really invest in when I was first getting into this space of travel and everyday carry. After months of research, reading reviews, Reddit threads, all sorts of things, learning about materials. When I was looking for the perfect travel backpack, I landed on the Aer Travel Pack 3. Now this bag has been out for quite some time now, but it still holds up. It's still one of the goats of travel backpacks. And yeah, at that time I thought I was, spending a lot of money into a travel backpack, but I really didn't know how deep the rabbit hole went. I honestly still don't, but yeah, it's pretty cool that Aer was one of the first brands that I really got into when I was first getting into this space. But today we're here to talk about the Aer City Pack Pro 2. So let's get into the overall aesthetics and quality of this bag. So even though this bag is newly refreshed and updated for 2025, it still carries many of the Aer's signature aesthetic marks. It has that nice rounded top, it tapers slightly towards the bottom, stands very well on its own, and it has that signature slash pocket right on the front. And of course, with many of Aer's products, the darts, very noticeable on the bags on the front. Now those darts are there to give the pockets independent volume. Now just for contrast, this is a bag from 2025. And like I mentioned to you earlier, this is the Aer Travel Pack 3 from many years ago. So it's an older model, but you can see the aesthetic resemblance between the two, even though they're vastly different bags. And you can see how that horizontal pocket and darts are very prominent on Aer's products. So just like many of Aer's products, this bag is clean, sleek, very minimalistic on the front. It has an overall very conservative design. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because of this clean, conservative design, it makes this acceptable in almost any workplace. And if you're somebody who doesn't like to draw a lot of attention when you're out in the city, you're a tourist, you're out and about, you don't want to draw a lot of people to valuable things that you're carrying, I think that this bag does a really good job of just kind of flying under the radar because of its clean and conservative look. So if you need a little bit of spice in your life, this bag is available in several different colors: black, olive, and navy. And if you're somebody who's into fabrics and you're looking for something a little bit more technical, this bag is also available in X-Pack and Ultra, which has really become one of my favorite materials in backpacks. Now, when it comes to the overall quality of this bag falls right in line with my expectation of all the other products that I've used over the years. It's an extremely well-built bag. I took a good look at the inside and outside of all the stitching. Didn't find any weird stitching, no misaligned panels, nothing weird like that. I had a total of 2 loose threads. I had to clip one off the top, and I still have a tiny little small thread dangling there at the bottom, but really just nothing of note when it comes to like bad quality. Now, when it comes to good quality, you are gonna see reinforced stitching, bar tack stitching at all the places you would expect. Right here where the shoulder strap meets the backpack, and same thing, bar tack box stitching down here at the bottom where the strap meets the bag itself. So again, just all telltale signs of a great quality bag, and it is backed by a lifetime warranty. All right, so I'm gonna throw the tech specs for you up on the screen. Please feel free to give that a pause if you wanna get a better look at any of those numbers. Now, this bag is listed at 24 liters in volume, but after packing it out and carrying it, kind of feels more like a 22-liter bag to me, just going off of the, the good old field test. Now, of course, your mileage may vary depending on your loadout, but it feeling a little bit smaller has kind of been my experience with a lot of Aer bags just in general. They feel a little bit smaller than the listed capacity. So coming in at 2.86 pounds, this isn't exactly the lightest bag in this size and style on the market, but once we get into the feature set here, which we're gonna do in just a few minutes, I think the trade-off is worth the weight penalty in my opinion. So this bag standing at 18 inches tall, I think is the sweet spot for most people's carry. So whether you're 5'2" or 6'1", I think this bag is gonna look great on you. Of course, it's gonna depend on your torso size, but generally at an 18-inch bag and this size and overall dimensions, I think it's not gonna look like a little kid's backpack if you're over 6 foot, and if you're on the other end of the spectrum, and you're not gonna look like a Ninja Turtle if you're somebody with a shorter stature. So overall, I think that this is a great size and sweet spot for all you short king and queens, and as well as your tall king and queens. So given this bag's overall dimensions, I think it's gonna make a great personal item bag for you when you're flying. Now, I have my personal item sizer box right here. This is the most common size used, but not every airline uses this size, so always double check your specific airlines before you fly. But generally, with this bag packed about 75% full, it should easily pass as a personal item on most airlines, especially here in America. It's gonna pass fairly easy on your Frontier and your Spirits, as long as it's not super packed out. Because with these bags, Aer bags in general, they have a lot of dedicated, independently dedicated volume for their pocketing, so you can really, get these pockets really packed out, and it could hinder your overall, trying to squeeze it in a box kind of scenario. But in general, I think that this bag is gonna fly under the radar. You shouldn't be stopped by a gate agent, but in case you do, it should pass generally most of the time. So this bag does come in like Ultra and X packs like we talked about earlier, but the version I have for you right here is the 1680D Cordura Ballistic Nylon. And in my opinion, is such an overkill material for an everyday carry bag and even a light travel bag. It's just a really burly material. This is the kind of material that you would see like in military applications and in military packs, stuff that's meant to be out in the war zone and kind of in the field. So with that said, this material should definitely hold up to anything you can throw at it, carrying it every day for work or school. And of course, when you're out traveling, overhead bins, trunks, cars, trains, planes, automobiles, all that thing, this material is gonna hold up extremely well. And because of this nice tight weave, this bag is gonna be super resistant to pet hair, dust, those things of that nature. You will pick up some scuff marks, some dirt marks along the way, but I can tell you from experience and using not only just this bag, but other Aer bags with the same material, a nice damp cloth will clean up your bag 99.9% of the time. So when I was poking around on the website, I didn't really see if this material was DWR coated for, additional water resistance. But what I did find is that Aer also sells a rain cover that you can use over this bag. But most of the time, my experience, because of the tight weave of Cordura Ballistic Nylon, especially the 1680D type, it generally, through light rains and stuff, is going to be pretty weather resistant. Now, when it comes to the rest of the materials and hardware in this bag, Aer never skimps out, so you're going to have name brand materials everywhere else as well. You're going to have the Japanese YKK zippers for all your zippered compartments. You're going to have Duraflex plastic hardware wherever you'll find that, whether your adjustment buckles or even the sewn D-rings here on the side. So if you're not familiar with things like that, YKK zippers are considered some of the best zippers in the world, and also Duraflex buckles. Duraflex makes some of the most durable and reputable plastic hardware. It's used in lots of backpacks, lots of applications. I've never had issues with either YKK or Duraflex at all. Now for the bag's external features, you do have 2 water bottle pockets, one on each side. You have three, that's right, three carry grab handles, one on each side of the bag and one here at the top. They are very nicely padded and they're a different, nicer, softer material, kind of like that seatbelt webbing. So it feels real nice in the hand. So if you need to carry your bag from the side or from the top, you shouldn't develop any hand fatigue because they are nicely padded. And again, that material is nice and smooth to the touch. There's also some nice hyperlon touches throughout the bag, like these zipper pulls. They're nice and long and they're hyperlon, so they have a little bit of a rubberized texture, so it makes it real easy when you need to open and close any of the zippered compartments. And you have these hyperlon kind of counter pulls here on each side of the middle zipper and also down at the bottom for the main compartment to just help you open and close. Just nice little touches overall, really well thought out bag. It's just nice little touches like that that make the overall end user experience just really, really good. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have this nice D-ring sewn into the side, and that's such a useful feature, and I'm glad when bag makers do that because I'm a person who likes to clip gear onto the outside. So when I'm traveling, I like to clip my hand sanitizer there so it's easily accessible. And then when I'm carrying it for everyday carry, this is a place when I get off of my vehicle or when I'm walking to work, I clip my car keys and my house keys right there just so I can easily see them, easily find them, and I know that I didn't leave home without them. Now moving over to the bag's back panel, you're going to be met with Aer's signature straps. Now if you talk to anybody who's used Aer products, the harness system and the straps are some of the most comfortable in the backpack game in general. Now they're plenty wide and they're plenty padded, but I think that Aer really hit the sweet spot here with the amount of padding used. Because when you go overboard, sometimes too thick of a padding can make the backpack straps hit your traps in a weird spot and cause them to curl. And then when they're also too wide, it kind of causes the same issue digging into your traps. So for me, the Aer harness is super comfortable, and I think that this is the perfect medium of when you talk about thickness of the width of the strap and also the amount of padding. So super comfortable, and I think generally a lot of people, these straps are going to work for a lot of people. So continuing on the straps, you have two hyperlon strips here where you can clip additional gear, and you also have another sewn in D-ring again to clip some more additional gear. Now you do have a fully adjustable and removable sternum strap included on this bag, and it is magnetic. Pretty sweet, pretty easy, and it just adds to the overall premium feeling of the bag. Down at the bottom of the straps, you do have that seatbelt style webbing, so it's nice and smooth and makes the bag easily adjustable. And again, a nice little touch is the Aer included strap keepers to help keep all of that dangled and excess strap managed and your bag just dangle free. Again, a nice little touch that a lot of bag makers just generally don't do anymore. When you finally make it to the back panel itself, you're going to be met with 4 big squares of Aer mesh. Again, just like the shoulder straps, there is a medium happy place that I feel backpacks can achieve. There's bags that have too much padding and there's bags that don't have enough. The team over at Aer, whoever designed this, the team that designed this, I felt hit the sweet spot where it's enough padding is going to provide you plenty of air breathability. You have this nice big air channel in the middle, but it's also not super padded where it causes the bag to fit and feel weird when it's on your back. And of course you have the vertical luggage pass-through, which was one of the updates here on this 2025 version of the bag. Again, it's held by a little piece of Velcro, and that goes back to just one of the little things that just makes the end user experience that much more enjoyable. That little piece of Velcro is a necessary? No, but what it does is going to keep that strap looking flat, keep it flush against the bag, and just, you know, kind of keep the overall bag's aesthetic very clean. And it's just little things like that that just make this bag feel a little bit premium, more premium than some of the other bags on the market. So moving into the interior and loadout portion of the video here, you are met up front with Aer's like signature horizontal pocket here. Now my biggest gripe with this pocket, and like I said, I've used other Aer bags that have a similar pocket, is it's generally kind of tight, very slim. So even though you have these darts that are sewn in here to help give it a little bit of volume, just in general the pocket's kind of slim and tight. Now, when you open up this pocket, it does have a PU coated zipper there, so it's going to help add a little bit of water resistance, and it does have a zipper garage there. So whatever you put in this pocket is going to be a little bit extra protected versus your main compartment. Now, the other only PU coated zipper on this bag was going to be your laptop compartment, so additional water resistance there as well. Glad to see that, especially on the laptop compartment. Now, when you open up this slash pocket of the front, you're going to be met with Aer's signature gray interior. Offsetting color is going to help you find your gear a little bit better, and that gray color is standard across Aer's lineup. Now I know when you get the X Pack or Ultra version of this bag, they're going to have a different interior color, but that gray is the standard offering there, and in general I think it's okay. Now there is no more internal organization or any other pockets on the inside of this bag except for a key leash. I generally keep flatter items in this pocket because it's so tight, and really all I kept in there is my moleskin notebook. It fit in there, and like I said, if I were to stuff any more items in there, it just feels really tight, and getting in and out of the pocket is not really enjoyable. Now, what is enjoyable is this top pocket, and probably the pocket you're gonna frequently use the most in this bag because it's so good. Now, it does have those 2 darts up front. It gives it a lot of volume. This pocket does puff out quite a bit. You can actually fit a pair of over-the-head earphones in this bag very easily because of that extra volume that it has. Very nice pocket in general. Now, when you open it up, you are met with the stretch mesh pocket here. Now, this mesh is nice. It's super premium feeling. It feels durable as hell. Like, it's just really nice mesh. I'm glad that they changed this up for 2025. This is a very nice feeling mesh, and I hope they use it going forward on the rest of their lineup. Now, it is a 75-25 split. I found this a great place for this is my MagGo MagSafe battery charger there, and then I could carry my hard drive on the other side. And you still have plenty of room down in these pockets that I would keep my dental kit down at the bottom there. It's got my floss and all that. And I would take my mouse for work. Again, just a lot of volume in this pocket where, like I said, if you wanted to put over the head earphones in there, still plenty of room. Now, on the back side of this compartment, you have another flat pocket here. Inside there, no additional organization. It's gonna be a nice, just flat pocket. Now, I generally don't like to carry my wallet in my pockets. I usually carry it in my bag or in my sling. So flat items are gonna be really good for this pocket. And I have my Wayfinder Daybreaker Billfold, a nice flat wallet that fits down in there. Now, I don't mind carrying it in this front pocket because it's a zipper within a zipper. So if I were in a pickpocket situation, essentially, they would have to open 2 compartments just to get to my wallet. So I feel pretty safe and secure with keeping my wallet in this pocket. And another security feature in this pocket is really right here at the top. Let me see if I can get that on camera. You have an AirTag envelope hidden in the back. Now, when you do slide your AirTag or your smart tracker in that pocket, because of the way it's sewn, you can't even see the AirTag in there. See if I can get that on camera. It almost looks like there's nothing in there. So very hard for a thief to find if your bag were to get stolen. You can't even see the AirTag sitting in the pocket. A very nice security touch to this bag. Now, the bag's laptop compartment is at the rear of the bag. It is a separated laptop compartment, but it's only a 1/4 zip, so it's only gonna open up a 1/4 of the way. And inside, you're gonna have a fully suspended laptop compartment, a fully suspended tablet compartment, and right in the middle would be your document sleeve, and that runs all the way to the bottom of the bag. So if you need to put taller or longer documents, they'll fit right in there. Now, Aer does advertise it fits a 16-inch MacBook Pro. I don't have a 16-inch MacBook Pro. My normal machine is a 14-inch MacBook, but I have a 16-inch MacBook Pro mock-up here of this wood. It's the same dimensions as a MacBook Pro, a 16-inch, and that back padded sleeve, it fits perfect in there, and there's still plenty of room at the top for you to get this compartment zipper closed. Like I mentioned, opposite of the laptop compartment, you do have a fully suspended tablet compartment for your iPad. And right in the middle between the two, like I mentioned, is a good place to put some documents. So if you have a folder with documents, it'll fit nice and sandwiched in between your 2 devices, and everything fits in there really well. It doesn't feel tight like if you're using a bigger machine. Now, I would imagine if you have a 17-inch computer, it should fit, but I know for a fact here the 16-inch MacBook Pro definitely fits, and it's fully suspended off the bottom. At the very top of the bag, you do have a quick access pocket there. Now, this pocket is actually very shallow. It's not gonna hold a lot of things. It'll easily hold your sunglasses. That's gonna take up about 70% of the space. So if you wanna add more items like your headphones, your AirPods, that stuff will fit in there. But I just carried gum and chapstick in there as well, and you'll see why and where I kept my AirPods in just a second. But generally, you can fit a wallet in there, your cell phone should fit in there, but mostly your sunglasses and a couple of other items are about all you're gonna fit in there. So it's pretty shallow. It's one of the smallest, quick access pockets that I've used in one of these style of bags. And closing up this compartment, you don't have that Hyperlon zipper pull on this one. You just have a small plastic tab for a pull. Again, this is one of those thoughtful engineered pieces of the bag, because if you were to have one of their standard long Hyperlon zipper pulls, I feel like that it would just get caught in either the laptop track or the main compartment track. So it's nice that some thought was put into, keeping this one. Yes, it is a small, and you really have to pay attention to how you're grabbing it, but because it's small and flat and plastic, it lays flat, it stays out of the way and out of the top of, you know, I'd rather have this than that long, dangly, hyperlon zipper pull. Nice little touch there from the designers. So getting into the bag's main compartment, you have these giant number 10 zippers. Now I will say getting into the bag is easy, but for some reason these zippers don't feel as smooth as some of the others that are even on this bag. I don't know why that is, because generally number 10s on a small bag like this are really super nice and buttery. But this one's had a little bit of resistance. Nothing of note, nothing you're gonna be unsatisfied using this bag, but just something noticeable about the zipper on the main compartment. On the inside of the bag, you just have one simple stretchy sleeve down at the bottom there. And on the other side of the bag, you have two more additional pockets. One is just gonna be ripstop, and the upper is going to be that nice stretch mesh that they're using throughout the bag. Again, very nice, very cool. I like seeing that there at the top pocket. Now, I'm not quite sure how well you can see this on camera, but you can see my iPad poking through. So just something to keep note. If you're packing out the laptop compartment, it does protrude into the main compartment just a bit, so it could eat up a little bit of volume of your main compartment. So on this front flap, I like to keep flatter items there so it doesn't push too much into the main compartment. This bottom pocket here was a great place to put my MacBook cord, my MacBook charger, additional charging brick, my 65 watt U-Green and the cable associated with that. And of course a Thunderbolt cable for hooking up to an external monitor. Fit all nicely in that pocket there. Still plenty of room if I needed more additional cords and chargers and bricks and all that stuff. Fit real easy down into that bottom compartment. Up top, I kept my first aid kit there. Just a little boo-boo kit, and then my vitamins and stuff I needed for the day, and my Ikigai vitamin case on that side. That's all I kept in those pockets there. Now when it comes to loading up the main compartment, I'm gonna show you a couple of different ways I loaded it out because I did carry it in different modes. So for everyday carry, of course I take a lunch to work, so I had my Carhartt lunchbox and my 26 ounce Yeti water bottle. I carried it actually on the inside of my pack. I didn't carry on the outside. Carried that right next to my lunch. And then right up top, I just carried a pouch that housed a bunch of things that I need for my personal work, and that fit perfect right up top. So that's pretty much the main compartment and how I loaded it out for everyday carry. Okay, so let's say you want to use this bag for a quick, weekend trip. Let me take out my lunch and everyday carry stuff, and I can show you how it'll fit. You know, this is a medium Peak Design packing cube, kind of the standard in the carry community. Very good packing cube. This is packed here for a 3-day trip. Everything I need in there, and it'll fit nice right at the bottom. And you still have some room up at the top here if you wanted to add a small toiletry kit or any other items right at the top. So you can see that it will function pretty well as an overnight weekender type bag as well, like I mentioned. So I got this bag fully loaded, and like I talked about, I'm somebody who likes to clip gear on the outside. So if you have a Labubu or you have some hand sanitizer, great place to hang it there on the outside. Additionally, like I said, when I'm in everyday carry mode, it's actually where I clip my car keys, so I can make sure when I'm leaving the office, I got them with me and don't have to walk all the way back to the office because I left them in my office drawer. And again, it's almost like the designers were picking my brain because I'm somebody who likes to clip AirPods onto the outside of my bag, especially on the front. And I'm so glad that this bag has a D-ring up front because as you can see, I actually carry my AirPods on a carabiner. So clipping it to the front, having it hanging there, it gives me quick access to my AirPods, throw them in, throw them out. Make sure I don't forget them. Like, this is my preferred place to carry my AirPods. So again, it's almost like the designers were picking my brain when they were putting this bag together. Now, when this bag's fully loaded, you still have two water bottle pockets. Now, yes, the D-ring and handle are in the way of your water bottle pocket, but that's why there's two, because if you have something clipped here or if you want to use this handle, the water bottle will obstruct it. So obviously you can still use the other side. And when this bag is fully packed out, a 26 ounce Yeti will fit in there, but it will take a little bit of effort. But it will fit all the way at the bottom. It does fit. It is tight, but it will fit. So depending on how you load the inside, it's going to affect your usability of the outside. Now I did have a 1 liter Nalgene, and it goes about halfway down. Didn't really feel comfortable carrying that 1 liter, but the 26 ounce Yeti does fit in there. Now when it comes to the fit and comfort of the bag, I know it's such a subjective thing to talk about, but for me, air packs in general, with this one is no exception, are extremely comfortable. Again, hats off to the design team, because picking the amount of padding is such a weird, thing to get into, but this is the perfect amount. It's enough but it's not too much, it's not too little. It's the right blend, and the size of the straps as well, it's the right width, because I've used bags that are a little bit wider and a lot more padded, and they just hit weird on your shoulder blades, they dig into your traps. And I think that Aer really found the sweet spot here with the amount of padding and the width of these shoulder straps. Now, even though these aren't the widest and most padded straps on the market, they're extremely comfortable, and they do a great job of weight distribution across my shoulders. My EDC weight is typically about 23 pounds. And again, I just felt the weight distribution evenly across my shoulders. The air mesh that they're using is super nice, it's super breathable. I walk 2 miles every day with this bag, and it's typically over 100 degrees right now in the summer. And overall, didn't really have a lot of sweaty shoulders or sweaty back due to this bag. So overall, just really good quality air mesh, nice breathability, and great distribution of the harness system across my shoulders and back. Now for some things that I really enjoyed about using this bag. Number one for me is going to be all the small little touches to detail. And what I mean by that are stuff like these zipper pulls here. Hyperlon zipper pulls at the middle compartment, and Hyperlon pulls, kind of pulls right down at the bottom. That's going to help you open and close the bag. It gives you somewhere to grab onto the bag to give you leverage to open and close. The thoughtful insight of not adding a Hyperlon zipper pull here and keeping a short one so it doesn't get caught up or, you know, laid into the other zipper tracks. Just another thoughtful little feature there. And of course, simple things like adding the Velcro little strip here to keep the luggage pass through nice, flush, and aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And of course, one of my favorite little things about this bag is the addition of the D-rings on the shoulder strap, on the side of the bag, because as somebody who likes to clip stuff to the bag, it's just so nice to have a dedicated spot for those things. And those little features of the bag don't seem like a lot. They're not hard to implement in my mind, but all compiled and added up together, using them every day makes the bag so enjoyable to use. And overall, the overall end user experience is just really great. Another thing I really enjoyed using was actually the 3 carry grab handles. Typically on a bag this size, I don't think you need more than just the top grab handle, but I actually found myself maneuvering and grabbing this bag along the 3. Yes, if you have a bottle, it does obstruct one, but that's why you have another one on the other side. And of course, it does run down into the water bottle compartment, so it makes putting a bottle in a little bit tighter than it should be. So there's some trade-offs to having these carry handles in addition to the additional weight added to this bag. Again, it's not the lightest carry bag on the market at almost 3 pounds, but I'm okay with the weight penalty because I actually did like using the handles more than I thought I would. They're nice, they're padded, they're soft, and just made maneuvering the bag way more, a lot more easier for me. And lastly, the premium look and feeling of this bag. Now it is priced at $209, which is definitely in that premium tier of backpacks, but I'm happy to report if you were to pay that money, what you get in return definitely feels like a good investment. Now, I can easily see this bag costing $250 based on the materials, the components, and some of the other bags on the market. I feel that this is very competitively priced amongst those bags. Now, what I hate is when you spend your hard-earned money to buy something expensive, and when it shows up, you're like, well, this feels kind of loose and this feels kind of plasticky. I don't know how well this is gonna hold up. That's a terrible feeling, right? When you're just questioning your purchase. And for me, if this shows up at your doorstep and you invested $209 in it, you're going to be happy with your purchase, in my opinion. It's a bag that sparks joy because it looks good, it feels good, it operates good, and it functions very, very well. And at the end of the day, as somebody who's used backpacks all the way up into the $1,000 range and all the way down into the $40 range, this is a great value in my opinion. Of course, everybody's budget is different, but I do feel that you're gonna get your money's worth right out of this bag. And the bag does come with a lifetime warranty that I don't think you'll ever need, but in general, the materials, the premium feeling sparks joy for me, and that's a real metric for me as far as is the bag worth it or not. So while overall my general experience with this bag is positive, there are a few little things about the bag that I wish were a little bit better or could use some improvement. One being the front / stash pocket of the front. It's really tight. Like I said, I was only able to really just carry my moleskin notebook in there, and getting it in and out wasn't always the super funnest things to do, but it's also not a problem exclusive to the City Pack Pro. I've had issues with the GR1 from Goldilocks, the front pocket too tight, the Alpaca travel backpack, same issue. I mean, so it's not an exclusive Aer problem, but I just wish that there was some way to incorporate a little bit extra volume, usable volume, obviously without making the bag look, you know, kind of saggy in the front. So again, I'm not a bag designer, I'm just a dude on YouTube, so maybe that's not something that's achievable, right? Because of aesthetics or whatever the reason may be. But overall, using the front pocket wasn't super enjoyable because of how tight it is. And that's also the same issue I had with the top quick access pocket. It's pretty shallow. Like I said, you can still get your sunglasses in there and a few little bits and bobs, things that you need quicker access to, but having seen and used some of the other bags that have giant, you know, pockets at the top, so I found that really usable, like the ULA Dragonfly. You can fit an entire Cap 1 into that top pocket, the quick access pocket. So I really do enjoy a lot of usable space up there up top. So this was one of the most shallowest ones I've ever used. So again, still usable. I just wish there were just a little bit more space in there so I could stuff more junk in there. Probably stuff I shouldn't be carrying anyway, but I do like the space. And lastly, while I didn't use the water bottle pockets in my everyday carry, I carried the bottle on the inside. When I did travel, I had the inside packed out, so I was forced to use the outside bottle, and it wasn't the most friendliest user experience carrying the 26-ounce Yeti. It fit, it's comfortable, it's not going anywhere, but it just took a little bit more effort to use these water bottle pockets than you know, versus some other bags. And if I had to add one wish list item to a V3 or a future edition of the bag, generally I like the feature set, not really much to improve on, but one thing if I had to ask for, or if there was a wish list I would add, would be a security like passport pocket integrated in the back of the back panel here. It's just a really useful pocket. It gives me a little tingly feeling knowing that my passport's tucked and hidden away. Yes, you can put it in the compartment where I had my wallet, you know, a zipper within a zipper, but I also like having that access right there and kind of close to your back, knowing that that passport, wallet, whatever you're using is super secure. Again, just a little wish list item, not really a necessity. So some final thoughts on the Aer City Pack Pro 2. I think given the feature set, the material, the build, the quality, everything about this bag, this is gonna meet the carry needs of a great deal of people. I would even go as far as to say is about 90% of the people, this bag is gonna meet your carry needs. Because of its clean, sleek, minimal aesthetic, it's gonna be great in school, great at work. It's gonna be even great to carry anywhere because of the durable materials. It's gonna last you, it's not gonna tear. Like, it's just such a really great bag. This is such a great bag to recommend to other people, and it's probably gonna be my most recommended bag of 2025, because I honestly do think this is a sweet Goldilocks bag. It's large enough for weekend travel, small enough to carry to school and work every single day. So in the end, when you take everything into consideration and the overall user experience and how much joy this bag sparked in using it and carrying it, I think that this is going to be a great bag. Now, if you're on the fence about trying it and you want my opinion, I'm going to say go for it. Like I said, I think this bag is going to meet the needs of a lot of people. Now, I know currently on the website, some of the colors are sold out, some of the fabrics are sold out. So definitely sign up for Aer's email notification when those things come back in stock. It's sold out for a reason. I'll just put it that way. It's a great bag. I think you're going to like it once you get your hands on it. Now, if you already own this bag, let me know down in the comments what has been your user experience with this bag. Now, if you have any more questions about this bag and you're on the fence about it, you want to know something else, ask your question down below. I always respond to every single question. The goal of this channel is to help you find the right bag for you. So definitely hit me up in the comments if you want to know something specific about this bag. If you made it this far in this video, thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I want to say thank you to Aer for sending this bag out for me to test and review. Now, I'm so happy that you're here. But what would make me even more happier is if I saw you on my next review.